Yeah, welcome. What a spirit. And I think after 2 years of absence, also a nice feeling, at least on my side, to see you here in person, meeting you in person after all these crazy years now in the past. My name is Timo Mühlhausen. I'm heading Data-Driven X, and together with my team, we are doing something quite maybe strange seen from a Siemens perspective, but this is exactly what we are trying to do now, extending our activities and also build up new business models and also access new markets. And we enable dynamic financing solutions with IoT data directly from the machine. And as this sounds probably a little bit weird to you, if you're not by sudden from the financial institutions, I would like to give you a short insight. How does this work? I mean, you know that a lot happened, in the last years. We were talking about Industry 4.0. We were intensively talking about digitalization. We were talking also a lot about COVID. And all our world changed tremendously. And the way how we work, how we met. Well, now we meet in person, but you all still continue working in a hybrid mode. And what did not change is that emerging search for new business models based on data. And this is exactly where we are coming in. Because, you see all that buzzwords here on the slides. I could extend that slide by even more, ESG conformity. And at the end, there are so many things which you could ideate based on data. So I would say infinite opportunities. But the one thing which is the key differentiating factor is that you have an optimized cash flow and that you have the freedom to invest ad hoc or instantly where you need. So really going quick into markets where your business emerges. This is the crucial thing. So in other words, we'll not talk about automation components. I will not talk about hardware. I will not talk about wiring. I will just talk about how can you maybe ideate and come with me on that journey, how to ideate and use data for dynamic financing solutions. I remember 5 years ago, I was here on the fair, and there was a huge delegation of machine builders that day visiting us, and we were talking about new business models and so. But there was one question which still kept me thinking. That was, how can Siemens help with this huge demand of CapEx OpEx shift? And I would say just a few of us really knew how to answer solidly that question, because it's a question coming from the financial to engineers. But it makes sense. It makes pure sense when you think about this even further. And you can also quickly come with our portfolio. And yes, here's a solution. A lot of proof of concepts have been conducted. So all these breakthroughs to get data from the machine and using it at least for a first proof of concept for a pay-per-use case. To use the machine in a pay-per-use, for you, I think nothing new. You know all that storage, marketing material, that a lot of pay-per-use approaches are conducted. But I would say there's still too little, and there can be more. So the question which kept me thinking and my team was, why is that so? What is the problem that this breakthrough for pay-per-use is not yet there? Broadly in our industry yet. And when you think about all these wordings which I have so far used, especially this CapEx OpEx thing, I've never used that wording when I was working as an engineer. It's a typical financial wording. And when you think about this, it makes sense. You have to think as finance a little bit. We have to come out of our domain and think about finance, because when you have a new product or a new business model that scales, what do you need? You need an investor. You need someone who takes over the risk. And I'm not talking about the technical risk. I would say with Siemens, you have the right partner on your side for that. I'm talking about the financial risk. And who's taking over the financial risk since years, since decades? The one on the top of this triangle. So you see the machine builder and the machine user on the bottom, our ecosystem of producing industry. And now we have to more intensively work together with the ecosystem of financing industry. And this is exactly where the investor comes from. This is the one who takes over the risk, the financial risk. And from a technical perspective, I would really take your doubts and like to swipe them away. When you've been here on the fair now, we have, after lunch, I hope you could see a lot what is exhibited here. I think you have seen that picture here already. I mean, the portfolio is there. The portfolio to really break through technically from the financing systems down to the machine seamlessly with the Siemens portfolio, get trustworthy data streams, also where data is located, where it's stored, how is it pre-processed, everything is already there. So there is no doubt that technically pay-per-use is possible. But as I said, the business model itself was still not yet really breaking through. And I think this is exactly where we have to work together between the financing industry. Oh, this was the wrong click. Between the financing industry and the producing industry, because I mean this huge amount of data which we currently have in the machine also includes performance critical information, production critical information, intellectual property, probably, which you will not share. For sure you will not share. And this is not needed. When you think about use cases like dynamic leasing or dynamic insurance, there's that little information needed that, I mean, the technical solutions are already there, and that's also not a pricing thing when you give you an insight about IoT-based insurance, for instance, which is one use case we are working on. Think about an autonomous factory. In the autonomous factory, the machine, in a case of an incident, will automatically report the situation to the insurance system. So claim settlement will be conducted fully automatically. That sounds so simple, at least from a technical perspective, but what is the business impact? In today's insurance business, in the case of an incident, you're not allowed to repair the machine unless the auditor or the inspector was not on site. By having this automatic claim settlement, you can directly start with repairing. So that means you can quicker restart your production again. Think about how long it takes to get an auditor or your repair team on site. They're quickly 5 days until the real crash is repaired. 5 days not able to produce? I mean, you're better than me calculating that through. So the positive business impact is more than obvious by having a full dynamic insurance which allows an instant claim management. For leasing, it's a similar case. I mean, we were talking about pay-per-use and pay-by-piece and pay-by-consumption, but what is the financial product? I mean, at the end, the machine builder wants to sell a machine to someone, but the machine user just wants to sell in maybe monthly pieces. So who is financing that business? In that case, could be a leasing company, for instance, or it could also be a bank. But leasing is interesting because it allows you to operate a contract, a leasing contract, which is kind of just for the machine user, just pay for what is consumed. So there are enough industries where only in seasons in spring or in autumn will be produced. Think about in farming, they have machines standing there not used for nearly 9 months. They use it 3 months a year. But they want to have the flexibility to maybe also use it, maybe not starting from August until October. Maybe they want to start maybe already in July and use it until November. So this flexibility you will get with IoT-based leasing, for instance. This is how we call it. And there's, again, very little information needed. It's maybe the operating hours, maybe the piece counts, maybe the geolocation. So I'm not talking about intellectual property or production critical information, right? And with leasing, there is a special thing also which is coming on top, which guides me to the machine logbook. The machine logbook is a kind of flight recorder. You can consider it like this. You only get access if you have the right keys. So maybe the leasing company, who is the asset owner, will probably get access to it. And we'll see how that machine was really used. Why is that so, and what kind of sense does it make? A leasing contract usually ends after 2, maybe 3 years. And then the machine goes into a secondary market. And this is the crucial moment when everybody starts negotiating about the price of the machine. So based on facts, based on data, you can make a right decision. What is the residual value of that machine? And this gives a more accuracy and more certainty, and maybe also a quicker negotiation when it's about the price. So I would like to invite you to think with us about more use cases. We are here at booth panel 60, just from your perspective on the right. Come join us and let's talk about further ideas I mean, and keep one thing in mind. I mean, worldwide, one out of three controllers is a Siemens controller. So think about this huge potential for new business model based on that solid foundation. With this, I would like to end because, I mean, some of you will probably ask me also, and how do we monetize it? What is the platform to run through? I mean, in that case, I would just refer to our accelerator, and which is the perfect platform for such kind of data-driven businesses. And with this, thank you so much, and hope to see you on our panel.
Thank you, dear Timo. Great presentation, really cool, great solutions. And if you want to talk to him, as said, over there at the booth, or you walk to the X Cube, the center of the storm, the eye of the storm, I call it. This is where you can get more information. Timo, hope you enjoyed it up here. I always love your presentations on our stage. Always cool information and new stuff.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.